If you feel like life has become predictable, unfulfilling, maybe even just downright boring, maybe it's time for a fresh start. Because deciding to make a change doesn't mean you have to turn your life upside down. It's just an opportunity to stand back and revise your current way of life. This is part 4 in my new series, How to Switch Things Up. And I'm going to share how to get out of a rut and start fresh. In part 1, we talked about the 7 significant benefits to trying new things. In part 2, we discussed how to break and build habits. And in part 3, the topic was how to think small so that you can go big with your goals. Getting a lot of amazing feedback. So thank you for sending me emails and coming into my DMs on social media and letting me know how these things are working out for you. And if this is your first time listening to Coffee with Colleen, my name is Colleen Hammond. I'm a personal brand strategist. Welcome. I just noticed that most women have no idea how amazing they will look and feel once they get their style right, and how important it is to have your personal brand nailed. This goes beyond your profile pic because 93% of what people think about you is determined in less than a second. That's even before you speak. So I coach clients and lead workshops on developing an impactful personal brand that is strengthened by incorporating wardrobe, on-camera skills, and your body language. I'm a former on-camera meteorologist for the Weather Channel, network news anchor, and Miss Michigan, and I've been helping people look and feel like $1 million for over 3 decades. Part of my work is helping clients learn how to get out of their own way and start fresh. So whether it's a lifestyle, a location, a career change, there's just some simple things you can do right now to get out of that rut and get some positive energy back in your life. The first thing you can do to get out of a rut and start fresh is to figure out what makes you happy. Have you ever just sat down to ruminate about life and what makes you happy? What lifts your spirits? What puts a spring in your step? What makes you jump out of bed in the morning? What makes your heart sing? What makes your energy levels skyrocket? You may have to think back to when you were a child and the things that you did when you were young and what made you happy then. A lot of times that's a great place to start because right now we kind of get into a rut of saying what makes us happy. Some people feel happiest when they're outdoors and they're in nature. Other people prefer playing sports. Some people like reading. Some people like all of those things. Maybe you love the arts. Maybe your passion is helping people. So actually sit down and physically make a list of what makes you happy so that you can take some action and focus on those things that bring you more joy in your life. So actually sit down and make a list. And again, think back to when you were a child and the things that you did then that made you happy. So the second thing that you can do to get out of a rut and start fresh is to practice saying yes. Most people are so busy with everyday life that they don't make time to get out of their comfort zone and do something different. When was the last time you tried something new? When's the last time you challenged yourself in some new area or even an area that you've already kind of done, kind of dabbled in, but dive back into that and challenge yourself. Why did you quit? But always try to be open to new experiences. So start saying yes to yourself and choose things that make you feel good when you do them. A great book was The Year of Yes by Shonda Rhimes. The whole title is The Year of Yes, How to Stand, How to Dance It Out, Stand in the Sun, and Be Your Own Person. She had 3 children and 3 hit television shows at the time. And she was at Thanksgiving dinner with family, and she was always just, I'm just busy, I'm busy. But the truth was, and she admits this in her book and talks about how she was an introvert and was afraid. This is a woman that had 3 hit television shows, and she was fearful. So at this Thanksgiving dinner, there was a conversation going on, and she said no, she couldn't, or she didn't have time or whatever. And her sister just mumbled, "Oh, you never say yes to anything." And it was kind of a wake-up call for her, kind of a call to action, a call to arms. So she said, "You know what? For 1 year, I'm going to say yes to everything that scares me." That doesn't mean every time your child asks you, "Mom, can we get a monkey?" you say yes. No, this is a personal growth thing, the year of yes, practicing yes and doing things that scared her. So I'll put the link to that book in the show notes. I highly recommend it. I've read it a couple of times. All right, so the third thing you can do to get out of a rut and start fresh is make a stop doing it list. So now we made a list of things that make us happy. You're saying yes to things that feel good, but you need to also practice saying no to things that don't make you feel good. A stop doing list. And like all of us, you're aware of the bad habits that we fall into and things that we've kind of gotten into a rut doing that don't bring us joy. So reassess those things. There's some things you really don't have any control over, but look at those energy vampires, those energy draining things or tasks that you can eliminate from your life, and write a list to remind yourself of the things you can choose not to do. And guess what that also does? It frees up time for the things that do make your heart soar. Fourth thing you can do to get out of a rut and start fresh: declutter. Most people have way too much stuff in their lives. We suffer from stuffication. And look around you right now. Can you see clutter around you? That makes your brain dance. It keeps your brain busy because subconsciously your brain is looking at all those things and analyzing them and categorizing them. Clutter includes also scrolling through social media. Clutter can also be your limiting beliefs. Clutter can also come in bad lifestyle habits, as well as a junk drawer in the kitchen. And doesn't everybody have a junk drawer in the kitchen? But that's why it's a junk drawer. You can close it. You don't have to look at it. So there's a bunch of really good books. And again, I'll put these books in the show notes. But one of my favorites was Digital Minimalism by Cal Newport. And Cal Newport, a lot of people call him the Marie Kondo of tech. So you want to rethink your relationship with social media and rediscover the pleasures of being offline. Reconnect to your inner self through regular periods of solitude and non-digital participation. And he also shares some strategies in the book of how to integrate practices into your life. And he starts with a 30-day digital declutter process. So if that thought right there was like, "Oh, I can't do without for 30 days. Oh, I can't do that." So if that kind of frightens you, I think you'll really enjoy this book. And I think you'll really benefit from the book. I'll also include a couple of other books. How to Break Up with Your Phone, another digital detox book. And then there's a big activity book for a digital detox, what to do instead. So all of those will be included in the show notes. The fifth thing that you can do to get out of a rut and start fresh is saying no to fear. Perhaps the single most empowering thing that you can do to get out of a rut is to turn your back on fear. Because fear stops you from trying new things, from taking risks, whether they're big or small. Fear also makes you, afraid to try anything new, and it holds you back from reaching your potential. So make a commitment to yourself right now to take back control of your life and leap into a fresh start. So which one of these 5 tips are you going to focus on this week? Either pop me an email at colleen@colleenhammond.com or send me a message in one of the social medias. And again, all those links to everything are in the show notes. So next time on Coffee with Colleen, we'll continue this series and we'll talk about tips for staying positive when things are tough. Thanks for joining me. See you next time.